Come on. Come on. Hello, how are you doing today? I didn't even notice it was you, baby. Guess I gotta turn that off. Hi! That didn't take you long. Oh, I guess I gotta do a link, huh? Shit, I'm cracking slacking. The sky. The sky is up, Nubs, so there. Haha. You got told. Um, I'm getting there. There we go. Alright. So what did you say? Yeah, when people are live, it doesn't tell you that you're on, and when they're not on, it tells you they're live. Oh, yeah, we know all about that stuff. What the heck is that?
Oh, haha. Hold on.
Your screen showing something weird.
No. Yeah. Better?
There you go.
I had it
I can't
reversed.
hear you, though. Hang on. I gotta make
Hold
sure
on.
this is right.
It might be me. Can you hear me now?
For some reason, I can't hear you. Cat, stop. Get down.
Hold on.
Hang on. Um, Try that. Say something.
Hello, hello.
There we go. Let's do it again. No? That's weird.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go.
Am I loud and clear?
Yeah, it was on my end. It's
Oh, okay.
just, just doing weird stuff the last couple days, and I'm not really sure why.
You hit the wrong button.
No, it's when I come in here. It didn't do it to begin with, and just the last couple days it's been doing it.
Oh, okay. No.
So what were you doing
What do you mean?
before you came up?
I had just gotten home and eat. starting to eat anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
What is that?
That's my wallet.
Oh. Hey, Zeus. Hi, Zeus. I saw your ears move. What you doing, Zeusers? Daddy loves you.
Aw.
I see those
Like,
ears going back and forth.
he gives no fucks. He just wants food.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at him. He's watch. I'll move my food up. Look.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's
Hey, Erm.
funny.
Good to see you, Erm. How you doing there, bud?
That's too fucking funny, my damn dog.
He
That's
doesn't
too
love. He doesn't love you. He just loves your food.
damn right. I'm not stupid.
At least he knows where his priorities are, right?
Right?
Oh, thank you, Erm, for telling me I'm cute.
Uh-oh.
No, he was talking about the dog. I'm giving him shit.
Uh, cute boy. Well, we know he's talking about my dog because you're a man.
Yeah.
You ain't no boy. Hi,
I can always pretend, right,
And what?
that I'm a boy.
And you need a mommy? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I need to be fed.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn, baby.
Yeah.
Ah, that's funny shit. Yeah, I'm not your mama, but I can be your nurse.
As long as I get fed, that's all that matters.
Right?
Uh, what are you eating? A burrito?
Yeah.
I had 2 cans of soup today.
At one time?
No, or one earlier, just one not too long ago. Of that soup that's down below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm,
So did you get all your planning done there, Erm?
okay. Messaging Larry.
What was that,
Larry.
Wolf Lady? What?
Hold on.
Okay, tell me when I can let go.
You can let go.
Damn. All right. Well, that's cool. Uh-oh. My dog's, you better get the fuck out of here, Bark. Wonder what happened to Wolf Lady. Dab nabbit. Well, I was thinking about watching this video. It had a interesting news, breaking news from space. It says from Mud Fossil University. Let's see.
basic abilities here in the atomic, subatomic realm. And I also have abilities in the ability to understand rocks and molecules and so forth of the dirt and things that we see. And it is all biological. They refuse to engage with that too. All right, this is the dragon. Runs all across North Africa attacking this giant fish, and it's just there. I cannot tell you why or how it happened. You make your own determination. That is a gigantic dragon. That's his neck and his throat running all the way down. This is the effluent draining off of the dead, decaying dragon. This is all dragon scales on the throat, running all the way down. And this is the fluty looking stuff that you see on the side of dragons in the parades. And these are his dragon
I thought it
scale
said it
throat.
was from outer space.
He or
Breaking
she.
news
And
from
way down here, there's a
in
cut
space.
straight across, and that's where it bled out in the desert.
Okay.
There are other injuries I found down here and other cuts, but this is the one that did the job. Now, in the meantime, it was trying to kill the fish, which is right here. Do you go up and look at it? I'm not going to.
What? There was a there. So let me guess. Was there tanker trains on that derailment by chance? It's just a shot in the dark here. I bet it was. So then that means there was. Then that means there was tanker trains on it, of course, and they spilt in our waterways, and it was just all by chance and by accident, you know. But we have your safety in mind and at heart, and don't worry, we're taking care of it. Who's this person?
Hi, Larry.
Who's this person? Who is that? I think I might know them. I'm not sure though. My memory's so it's elapsing.
What? What you saying?
How you doing, Sly?
I'm
Good
all
to
right,
see you
buddy. I
again.
just said I saw you live. I said let me go and holler at you because I see you been missing me.
Well, yeah, gotta get
Yeah.
gotta get right with Sly.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. I'm down at a game spot where one of my friends' grandson is having a birthday party,
Yeah,
and it's like the virtual, the virtual thingy where you put the things
yeah,
on you.
right. Those glasses,
I can't hear you.
the glasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I ain't try it though.
How come? You gotta
I
try
don't
it,
know.
girl.
Cause I
Try
can't
it.
see. Cause I can't see, Larry.
You can see out of one eye.
Shut up.
What are you watching in breaking news in space? What is this?
Hi, who is this? Is this Anna?
I don't know, am I? Is
Hi,
that
Anna.
Hi
Hi,
girl,
Anna.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm
Good to see
surviving.
you. Larry, I got clothes on. I'm dressed. I'm looking cool.
Is that right?
You
Well
can't
that's
see me.
good to
You
know.
can't you can't see me because I'm in the car.
That's all right.
So
Let's
I'm
see.
sitting in
Let's
the
see if
car with
we
my
can.
one of my friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check this out.
Smoke
Look
it.
at look at this. Well, who's
Ooh,
the
I
All
like
right.
boss?
that. Yeah, I
Who's the
like that
boss,
shirt.
huh?
All right, boss.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
Good. All right, boss.
Yeah, we the boss.
Looking good these days, huh? I just
What's
hope no girls or women are out there are thinking dirty thoughts, because then I'll have to take care of business, and
down, lady?
I gotta
Down, wolf
find a
lady.
place to bury the bodies. Oh, wait, I can't see
Well,
that shit. YouTube will shut us off.
Yes.
while that's gonna happen, I'm gonna charge people money and make some money while we're doing this
You got to
shit.
go to
You know?
OnlyFans, Larry.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Damn, I never
$5
could find that.
licky licky.
Yeah,
$5 licky licky.
Oh my gosh.
a long
Oh,
time.
YouTube.
No,
YouTube. This isn't this a family broadcast?
I didn't see
yeah, we
no
are family,
PG.
aren't we?
I didn't see PG rating.
Hey, I talk like this around my family too, so it ain't no big deal.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I like
Well,
your
I just
shirt.
came to say hi to you, Larry and Anna.
I'm glad you
When I
did. I
get back
like
to
your
the
shirt
party.
on. And, all right, we have fun and try those goggles out.
All right, I'm gonna try.
All right, girl.
I'll let you know.
All right, bye bye.
All right, peace out. Love
You
you.
too.
Love you,
Love you
Linda.
too.
I mean Linda. Love you, Anna.
There's your
Hey,
hug.
nothing too sly. I'm glad to see you, hon.
All right, babe. See you soon, okay?
That'd be cool to try one of those things out. Those goggles, the virtual reality goggles.
Oh, I want to try that so bad. Big time. Oh yeah. I'm really interested in that. But I'm telling you, you're gonna have to put me like in a chair in the middle of a room, bubble wrap me while you're at it, and probably bubble wrap everything else.
I can probably get one for my computer. It should be good enough.
I don't know. I don't know if you can. I don't know anything about them really. I honestly don't.
Yeah, you just have to install the game, and my computer could run just about any game that I know of.
Wow. That's so cool. That is really cool. So yeah, that's right, because your computer's all spiffied up now, huh? That's right.
Spiffied up, just like its owner.
Oh yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
So yeah, I clicked on this video, Mud Fossil University, and it said breaking news in space. But then he's showing the same dragon that he always shows. It's pretty
Oh
cool though. I think you've seen it before, haven't you?
yeah, I was watching that stuff. Yeah, I was watching that. Where the fuck are my shoes?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like the view from space of Earth.
Yeah, but it said the title said in space. That's what was the title said in space. That's what was deceiving.
Clickbait. Yep.
But you could see it pretty well there.
Oh, I know. Not. I don't have my glasses on, but
Ate into its vital flesh here, which was spit out of some really nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. And it came down and it just attacked that fish. It was trying to kill the fish.
Yeah.
All right. Now, so if NASA can't see that with their satellites, I don't know what to say. And Mars is completely covered with life too. Earth is 100% life. So everything in space is life. Comet 67P is a gigantic tendon enthesis. I showed this and I can show it again, and I guess I should. Okay, I just put this video up March 1st, a couple days ago, and this is how could this be possible? It's about Comet 67P. Now, if all of these space agencies do not take this into consideration, I say they are not doing their job. They have failed their mission. Now, I showed Comet 67P here.
I'm trying to make it big, but I can't.
Bundle of muscle
my
and the
job.
tendons and the tendon ball.
I want to hear it.
And I think back here, yeah, I show everything back here. You see, I pointed out very carefully exactly what it is and how it's formed, and then the ball that all of that stuff goes into. There's the muscle, which I showed the bundle. There's the tendon. There's the ball, and then outside the ball is all those little balls show here. And that's what locks it into the meat that it was into. Then the muscle runs off
Big
of
balls
here
and
and the
small balls.
tendons run up to whatever it was. And this is gigantic.
He
And
said he's
it's,
got big balls,
its
baby.
molecular signature
And
is,
little
well, and
balls.
here, well, there's the molecular signature. And that's what's shooting out of there.
We
is
got
these
the
gases
biggest
from,
balls of all.
literally from blood vessels.
I already
That is
saw
an artery because it's just so gigantic, squirting out. These are
We
little
got
tiny
big
blood
balls.
vessels that feed
We got
these
the big
little
balls of all.
fibers. Every single cell.
Erm's got big balls. Erm's got big balls. I've got big balls. We all got the biggest balls of all.
Yeah. All right. Rock on, literally.
And your body has to be nurtured. And this is the chemistry. And that's the size of this thing on top of Raleigh, North Carolina. It looks like it had a bone coming out the middle. And these are these big cavities, and these are what they call dragon balls. These are blood cells, blood, little, blobs of blood, clots. And then they cook off when the sun hits them just the right way. It's not just blowing off of here. You can see them spitting out in every different direction. It's not just waving off like it's dust. It's cooking. And astronauts say they smell steak when they come back into the airlocks and take their suits off. Okay, my friends, there's a whole new thing going on with Mars. They're up there looking for life, and they really honestly don't understand what they're looking at. Let me fulfill NASA and NOVA and PBS and the whole rest of the world, because they're just not understanding what they're seeing.
Did you know that some websites would be willing to pay $548.14 every day to ordinary people like you, and all without doing any?
Okay, my video went up on the 21st. There's one up on the 24th. So what I'm saying is you're going to see life almost certainly existed on Mars. I'm not going to do another one about it. It's only 6 minutes long. Let's watch it. Of information about Mars now. Is there any life on Mars? All of this has been going on for the last 5.5 years. Look at this. Over the past 5.5 years, NASA Security rover has been snapping imaging the Martian surface. Is there life there or not? Guess what? So has Roger. Okay, this goes a long time ago. This is from NASA. You see down here the picture from NASA. And this is the Mars crab. And what is the Mars crab? It's right down here, blown up. It's here. That is an artery. That's a vein. An artery pushes blood into the surrounding tissues, which these layers are layers of tissue, and these breaks are called the sarcomeres. Here's what happens. Your muscles pull like that, but they need a lot of blood and oxygen and nutrition to do their job. That's what this is. And it's down below, too. Well, I can't see it in this, but all of this.
Hey,
can
you back that up a few minutes? Because I can hear some of it.
And I'll show you that in a second.
Please.
This pumps blood into that on Mars. I'm not going to do another one about it. It's only 6 minutes long.
Yeah, far enough?
Yes, thank you.
Let's watch it. Of information about Mars now. Is there any life on Mars? All of this has been going on for the last 5.5 years. Look at this. Over the past 5.5 years, NASA Security rover has been snapping imaging the Martian surface. Is there life there or not? Guess what? So has Roger. Okay, this goes a long time ago. This is from NASA. You see down here the picture from NASA. And this is the Mars crab. And what is the Mars crab? It's right down here, blown up. It's here. That is an artery. That's a vein. An artery pushes blood into the surrounding tissues, which these layers are layers of tissue, and these breaks are called the sarcomeres.
I think I need to clean my camera.
Your muscles pull like that, but they need a lot of blood and oxygen and nutrition to do their job. That's what this is. And it's down below, too. Well, you can't see it in this, but all of this, well, you can see it. See here? That's like below the blood vessel. That's what it is. And I'll show you that in a second. This pumps blood into that tissue to make that muscle work. At one time, this was a gigantic creature, it was alive, and all of this blood now is the plasma and so forth is running out into dust. See, here's the problem. NASA, they just absolutely won't speak to me about this. I sent this to everybody in the space administration everywhere, European Space Agency, every single one of them, universities, and they just are, they're afraid to speak about it. There's no question what this is. And I show this in so many different ways. Here's the sarcomeres, and then they have the Mars blueberries, which are these are what's called interstitium. And I actually discovered
Mars
interstitium.
blueberries, huh?
And these are these little
Ooh, and
blueberries,
fast forwarding
which
it?
are
Or is
what
that
happens
him?
No,
is when you
that's
have
him.
skin and tissue.
Okay.
Then below it, you have your squiggly flesh that moves around when you twist and contort and everything, but it has to come back to where it was. The balls bring them back. The collagen fiber is like a little plastic thing that it forms these bubbles. These bubbles are filled with fluid. The fluid is what leaks out, and then all of this runs down into mud. The fleshy stuff turns into mud, and the balls
Fleshy
sit on
stuff.
top like this. It's exactly what they are. This is the basement layer underneath
Mars
where
blueberries, huh?
where you start to get
I'd
into
like
the
to try
flesh.
them.
The same thing happens on the Earth.
Would you like a
And
red
I discovered
Mars
this back
berry
10
or
years
a
ago. I
blue
worked with
one?
Gil Headley, who
Red
was a
pill
I
or
anatomy
I
blue
want
in the
one?
both.
world. And here is interstitium on Mars. They call it the Mars Morse code. That's gathered interstitium skin.
I'm
This
gonna
is
get a hold of
stretched
them blue
It
balls
does
and
look
make
the
them
like a
into
balls
piece
here.
red
of
balls.
It's eroded.
that lip
It's
does
eroded
look like
because
a piece of
Mars
skin.
is like a sandblaster. This is almost like sandblasting. It's
Wow.
that fine. You see it? All that is red fleshy tissue, and on the surface of your skin, there's a lot more silicon, and I also believe there's a lot more iridium
Does he have a
on
degree
the
or
skin
anything
layer
else
because
like that?
it's a tough, dense,
I think he's
Maybe
got a
you pause
few.
it.
area. And
Pause it.
here's all the stuff they
Hang
found on
on.
Comet 67P. I studied that too, and that is
I think he's got a few.
He's got like PhDs and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue.
The reason nobody will listen to him is because if they admitted anything he's saying is true, then what they've been saying is true forever can't be true. So if they're
That's
lying
right.
about that, what else are they lying about?
Everything.
100%.
How could you say such things?
Here's all the stuff on the light,
Okay.
and
I won't
there's
say
light, and there's
all
light
of
accelerated. There's the
Probably
particles. There's
99.9%.
the electron showers. There's the spinning light. I mean, and there's something nobody knows about.
Where
And
is
there's
this?
the muons, and these are the electron showers. This is more advanced than CERN. So
think
I
it's
expect
all
somebody
Mars.
to talk to me at some point. And here it is, Roger at mudfossils.com.
I gotta go
Thank
get
you. I love you
Buster.
all.
All right.
No,
I'll
it
hold
is
for it.
spectacular. Absolutely no question.
You
Anybody
pause
ever
it.
suspect it? No. Is it real? Absolutely. Does it require investigation? Without question. Is it being done? No, it is not. This is Roger, Mud Fossil University. I expect somebody to get a hold of me or somebody to raise their voice against what is going on. It's not correct. If these people are scientists,
never
let's see
happen.
some science. Let's not see a culture of denial. And that's what I have seen for 10
Not
years
a
straight
culture of
to this
denial.
very
It's a
instant.
culture of
Thank you. I
let's
still love you all.
hide all our secret. Whoa, what the hell? Holy shit. Well, my son plays that game.
Hey!
That's funny too.
Hey!
Hot baby. Oh my gosh.
Non lasciare mai le cose a metà.
Okay, my son doesn't play this game.
Relax. It'll all
Whoa.
The Grand Mafia. Download for free.
Hey, they were doing semi-porn. Baby,
What?
that commercial or that ad was slightly Cornish.
It was slightly what?
Cornish.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny.
yeah. I gotta clean out my car. Clean it. Because everybody wants to see my new car. Sort of new. It's not new anymore.
Yeah,
Are you gonna be on here for a little bit? Because I have to take Zeus for a walk.
yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
All right, one last look at this. This is about the scariest thing I've ever seen. Boom, look at that.
Consisting.
Now look at that. That's not far off from what the dragon did. Now, it doesn't look like a dragon, but I don't know.
Of 1,300 known species. They have a web-like body part called proboscis that they shoot out by squeezing out the appendage.
What? How come I can't see it now? There we go.
That they use to hunt prey with their.
Well, I don't know what else to say. All right. I always knew that it was coming out of his beard here, but I didn't really understand that it was this proboscis thing. And I think this whole little yellow thing going all the way down the guy's throat is that same thing. Look at it. See it? That's a proboscis looking thing that squirted out. I just don't know. We need to do some deep look here. But this is that yellow, comes right out through here. Now there's a beard going this way and a beard going that way. This one doesn't seem to be too implicated in this disaster at this point, but it is very, very interesting to look at. You see that? Isn't that? That's I don't know what to say. This one here is, I've always looked at it like it was squirting, and this is all squirt coming out of here. Is it? I don't know. It's going to give off toxins. Is this all part of this coming down? Do not know. All right, everybody knows about Typhon by now, which is the dragon in the desert. It's been written about in history. Apollodorus wrote about him. And here he is. This is obviously highlighted, but this is his throat. Down here is just runoff. This is the stuff that came out of his throat now. And it looks like it could have been the same kind of crazy looking stuff. You see the fish down here? Everybody knows about the fish too. So that was what, here's his neck. We saw from about here up to his head. This is all the spit coming down on top of the fish. Now, when we take a really close look at it, I always looked at it and I thought, boy, this is some nasty looking stuff. But look at these little things. They're almost identical to what that thing was doing. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. I was always looking at this thinking to myself, well, that thing's nasty. But, I would have never, ever considered this if Jonathan hadn't sent me that. Now, look, this is what it did. It came down with all this. It looks exactly the same. And it ate into his vital flesh here. And we could see right down into his blood vessels, all the way down to the capillaries, the blood vessels, the veins, everything. It just ate right through the top layer of his body. I'm thinking Jonathan's got this right. I think that was from some wacko thing like that. And that thing was about as wacko as it gets. Okay, my friends, if you're allergic to disgusting things, look away now. Jonathan Bowman just sent me this, and it has blown my mind. Wait till you see this. I have been following the dragon in the desert. Look at that. Look.
This is probably the most bizarre and weirdest creature on Earth that came straight out of a horror movie. Meet the proboscis
That is
worm,
pretty
also
weird,
known as
like
ribbon worm, consisting of 1,300 known species. They have a web-like body part called proboscis that they shoot out by squeezing out the appendage that they use to hunt prey, with their sticky proboscis described as a mass of sticky spaghetti that have a barb to inject toxins and digestive juices, such as tetrodotoxin, mostly known from the infamous puffer fish, that can induce paralysis and even death by asphyxia. But they also use this as a defense mechanism to deter predators.
All right. They can, well, let me go a little further.
Most ribbon worm species live in the ocean, with some species also living on land and freshwater, and they are mostly just a few millimeters long, but some can grow over 100 feet or 30 meters long, making them some of the longest animals on Earth.
Whoa, wait till you see this.
I got another one here.
in the laboratory at the experimental Siberian branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences. Their aim was to conduct the ultimate test of extrasensory perception, the ability for the human mind to receive information invisible to normal physical senses. But little did they know that this chamber would lead them into some of the most bizarre and disturbing events ever recorded at the North Pole. And that's where they were headed after they finished. The chamber they built was a thin sheet of polished aluminum rolled into a cylindrical spiral, what they called a Kozyrev mirror. They named it after the eccentric but brilliant Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Alexandrovich Kozyrev, who, after 10 years of forced isolation, was led to the greatest discovery of his life. This was Kozyrev's theory of time, and a theoretical time device which he failed to complete before his sudden death in 1983. But before we dive in, I've got a technology here that might not be able to travel through time and space, but to me it feels pretty futuristic, at least in 2023. As you might know, I'm a bit obsessed with using AI-generated art in my videos because I cover some of the most obscure topics with hardly any visuals in existence, and AI art helps me bring these stories to life. Today's sponsor, Wonder, is one of my go-to apps because its art generation is so impressive. Sometimes I can't tell it wasn't made by a human. And on top of that, it's really easy to use. It's as simple as picking an adjective, like radioactive, then a subject, time machine, then describe the situation, like arriving in 15th century Paris, and finally choose a style. I'll pick magic, then hit create, and you can get way more detailed with your prompt, but sometimes I just keep it simple. Either way, it only takes a few seconds to bring your words to life. And Wonder is offering my viewers a free trial of Wonder Premium, where you get access to over 20 styles and unlimited faster art generation with absolutely zero ads. So if you're ready to experience the joy and thrill of bringing your ideas to life, use my link to download Wonder right now and you'll get a free premium trial to put your creativity to the test. Thanks again to Wonder. It's time to travel to the past and crack open the mystery of the Kozyrev time mirror. In order to understand the Kozyrev mirror and the strange events surrounding it, we first need to understand the rather unique circumstances that led to its invention. In the dark days of the 1930s, when famine had decimated the Soviet Union, a young Nikolai Kozyrev worked in the hollowed halls of the Pulkovo Astronomical Observatory, where he'd soon become hailed as one of the most promising astrophysicists in the country, and a beacon of hope for his struggling nation. However, there was a sinister shadow lurking, and this was the paranoid, ever-watching eye of Joseph Stalin's regime. In November of 1936, a single bitter accusation of counter-revolutionary activity was hurled by a disgruntled graduate student, sealing the fate of the entire observatory staff. Overnight, almost all of Kozyrev's colleagues were executed. For his scientific contributions, Kozyrev was spared. However, he was arrested, and the Stalin regime condemned him to 20 years in a solitary gulag cell. For most people, especially rising scientists like Nikolai Kozyrev, this kind of isolation would have destroyed all purpose and motivation. He was banished to a world severed from any new scientific developments, and science waits for no one. 20 years is a very long time to be gone. Alone in his cold, windowless cell, Kozyrev was left to wander only in the abyss of his own memories and thoughts. But he never gave up. He may have been robbed of his career, but he never stopped his scientific work, though he now worked only in purely theoretical physics. After years of thought experiments, completely separated from any new developments, trends, and dogmas embraced by his free peers in the academic world, as you can imagine, Kozyrev's scientific understanding split sharply away from the mainstream narrative on the day of his arrest in 1936. With all the time in the world and no new influences, his prison-forged physics evolved into something incredibly unique. But little did Kozyrev know that, for years, a group of his old colleagues on the outside had been lobbying the Stalin regime to free him. So, to his complete surprise, in December of 1946, he was awarded an early release. The entire Soviet scientific community celebrated Nikolai Kozyrev's return. After more than 10 years, their beacon of hope was back to catapult Mother Russia to new heights of achievement. What they didn't expect, though, was that the scientist who entered the Gulag was not the same who came out. He'd long disconnected from mainstream science. Kozyrev was completely unaware of the discovery of nuclear energy, for example, and the controversy surrounding him skyrocketed after Kozyrev published a paper on his theory of time. Developed entirely in a solitary cell, the theory was based on Kozyrev's photographic memory of the works of Albert Einstein and German Minkowski, who argued that gravity is not a force, but rather a distortion of the four-dimensional space-time continuum. Depending on what the matter is made of and how it's shaped, it will distort and warp space-time in different ways. And based on these ideas, Nikolai Kozyrev proposed that something could be created to intentionally affect time.
Oh my god, Jay, they've got my dog. That's my dog, they've got my dog.
All right, calm down. You cover me. I'll go get her.
No, she's mine.
In a single statement, Kozyrev attacked the entire Soviet Union. Quote, "A mirror can be made that can bend absolutely anything, including time. Time travel is possible through a mirror." End quote. He wasn't being metaphorical. Nikolai Kozyrev really was serious about using a mirror. And stick with me here as I try my best to explain. To begin, the astrophysicist proposed that light and time aren't so different from one another. Just as light is a type of energy, Kozyrev came to the conclusion that time is a type of energy too. And similarly, with light we can only perceive a fraction of a much larger spectrum. For example, infrared and ultraviolet light are invisible to the naked human eye. And according to Kozyrev, time energy works similarly. The full spectrum of time, the past, present, and future, all exist simultaneously. However, under normal conditions, we can only perceive the present time. And back to the mirrors, a mirror doesn't technically reflect light. It actually bends light and changes its direction due to the material the mirror is made out of and its design. So accordingly, with the right setup, it may be possible to bend and direct time, too. Kozyrev's wild theory led him to be disgraced by some of the Soviet Union's leading physicists, and sparked a decades-long debate over whether his theory should even be tested. Without any funding, Kozyrev used the little savings he had to continue developing his theory and experimenting with different metals. Finally, he settled on a mixture of several special grades of aluminum. Melting them into a thin sheet, he proposed that the key would be to forge the sheet into a concave mirror. Today, concave mirrors are used in modern technology such as astronomical telescopes, electron microscopes, and solar-powered heaters to gather in and focus a significant concentration of light. And this property of concave mirrors has been known since ancient times, such as in 212 BC, when the mathematician Archimedes designed a giant round mirror to concentrate the sun's rays and incinerate entire fleets of wooden Roman ships. And this was exactly what Nikolai Kozyrev had in mind. Even more jarring than the concept of time bending, Kozyrev wanted to build a time concentrator. In the last years of his life, he proposed a simple but deliberate device to take full advantage of the properties of concave mirrors. A long sheet of his aluminum concave mirror could be rolled into a perfect cylindrical spiral, then placed upright, leaving room inside for a person to sit. Finally, the device would be rotated 1.5 turns clockwise. Time energy would be captured by the opening and become more and more concentrated the further it flows into the spiral. So, theoretically, the person sitting in the pool of concentrated time energy would suddenly exist in multiple points in the space-time continuum. Simply put, they'd gain access to the past and the future at the exact same time. Unfortunately, Nikolai Kozyrev was never able to build his time concentrator, nor further his research. In 1983, his health abruptly declined in a matter of weeks, and on the 27th of February, he died, the cause unknown. After Kozyrev's death, his theories on time bending and concentration were brought back into the public spotlight. They were still highly controversial, but now with a greater air of intrigue. By almost all measures, Kozyrev was a scientific genius. So what if he was on to something? Just a handful of years after Kozyrev died, the Soviet Union began to collapse, and a deep societal change was on the horizon. President Mikhail Gorbachev had enacted several major policies of openness, which allowed for far more freedom of speech and democracy. As a side effect, this also opened up the possibility for serious scientists to test the strange experiment proposed by Nikolai Kozyrev. In fact, the government-operated Russian Academy of Sciences was ready to fund it. And this brings us back to the scientists who received that funding and built the world's first Kozyrev mirror, Dr. Vladimir Kuznetsov and Dr. Alexander Trofimov. And based on their results, the mirror actually worked. But what they saw in the mirror wasn't pretty. In December of 1990, Kuznetsov and Trofimov transported their Kozyrev mirror to a small remote village known as Deakin, one of the closest permanent settlements to the North Pole. This location was chosen intentionally, as Trofimov explained, quote, "The permafrost zone surrounding Deakin stores information for many tens and hundreds of thousands of years. According to Nikolai Kozyrev, any process, for example, the transformation of water into ice, is accompanied by the absorption of time energy, and the ice stores this energy of time. When the ice begins to melt, the reverse process of energy release of time begins." End quote. In other words, because Deakin's permafrost was slowly melting, they believed that it was literally...
Anybody have any comments they want to speak on about the video that they've watched so far? Alrighty then, I guess we'll go on with the video. This video is brought to you by Mr. Milos. Please like, subscribe, and share. This video is used for entertainment and educational and fair use. Thank you.
literally emitting ancient information in the form of time energy captured there hundreds, thousands, and even millions of years ago. And this was important as the Kozyrev mirror needed to collect and concentrate as much time energy as possible. The experiment at Deakin was the first of its kind. No one knew what to expect, but they certainly didn't foresee the madness heading their way. These experiments became so infamous that multiple Russian books and films have been made about them, including a feature-length documentary titled Mirrors: Breaking the Future, produced by the official Russian state TV channel Russia 1. But for accuracy's sake, I'll be cross-referencing with Kuznetsov's and Trofimov's 1992 book titled Cosmic Consciousness of Humanity, which contains the original laboratory records, experiment journals, and witness audio tapes transcribed in English. So you know the story I'm about to tell you, even if it sounds quite alien and disturbing, are documented events. And we'll begin with the fear. For the entire first day of the experiments, not a single person was willing to enter the Kozyrev mirror. That day, an otherworldly sense of dread and terror was felt not only by the research participants, but also Kuznetsov and Trofimov, who described the sensation as very primal and animalistic. But unlike any natural emotional feeling, it seemed to have very physical effects. In the audio tapes, various volunteers described their experience with the fear. Quote, December 24th, 1990, tape 1. 3 of us came to the psychological distress room to work there. Having entered the room, we felt a kind of emotional pressure. We found a picture of 3 dots inside a circle. Somebody offered to put it into the Kozyrev mirrors. Having done it, we felt a kind of emotional shock. We just couldn't keep standing around the mirrors. The fear was so strong, it seemed like a real thing you could touch. None of us have ever had such a feeling before. Tape 4. I was afraid to come up to the mirrors. My colleague decided to put a reproduction of the Banner of Peace by Nicholas Roerch into the mirrors. Once he stretched out his hand, he had fear. I felt my chest trembling. It was like coming into cold water. The fear grew so strong that I was close to running away. Next time we came to the room, I suddenly felt a strong blow to my head. Tape 5. We thought the source of the pressure was Kozyrev's mirrors because as we got closer to them, the thrill grew. I felt cold and dizzy, like there
Can
was...
you pause it, please?
My hands were trembling.
So what is this?
It's called Time Mirrors Experiments at the North Pole. Joso sent it to me this morning.
What's it about?
Time Mirror Experiments at the North Pole.
Oh, fuck. What do they mean by time mirrors?
Well, this guy he's talking about said that he felt that you could basically travel through time through mirrors. And he's talking about how he made one out of, I think it was 3 different kinds of aluminum.
That's amazing. Okay, continue, baby.
And my head grew heavy. While coming away from the mirror, the feelings went down. Once we were back, we felt the fear grow up again. At 11 p.m., the fear area reached outside of Kozyrev's space. Even the air of the room seemed different. It was like after a thunderstorm. At 11:50 p.m., we decided to put a test paper into the mirrors. The test paper was of a round form with 3 circles and the Banner of Peace by Nicholas Roerch inside. I put it in between the mirrors. My hands trembled. I saw a black cloud in the center of Kozyrev's space. It filled up the whole space of the mirrors. About 1 a.m., we felt the presence of some substance in the room. It felt like the substance came from Kozyrev's space and filled up the whole room. The fear was so strong. We put a cross on the outside of the mirrors and it calmed us down a bit. But about 2 a.m., the fear reached its extreme. We went out of the room, but my colleague decided to go back for the cigarettes. As we passed the hole in the mirrors, we saw a violet flash shaped like a tree with branches and roots. At that very moment, my colleague got scared. We ran away from the room. I felt like something had struck my back. It was like a black cloud generating fear. Getting away from the room, I felt like there was a black cloud dragging behind me from the mirrors. In the morning, I had a headache. End quote. According to the records of Drs. Kuznachev and Trofimov, the two researchers witnessed the violet flash that occurred at 2 a.m. when the volunteer went back for his cigarettes, and noted that it was accompanied by the smell of ozone. Even more disturbing, though, was that the guards outside reported a hovering, glowing disk manifesting above the research facility itself at the very same time. Dr. Trofimov gave this statement, quote, "The tester brought the symbol of Nicholas Rourke's banner of peace into the mirrors, and the tester was thrown back by a certain force field. Suddenly, inside the installation, there was a flash of a plasmoid. It was scary. We were not ready for this. We did not even have instruments to measure everything. According to the security officers outside, minute by minute, a luminous object in the form of a disc began to appear above our building. This happened around 7 times." End quote. During the first 2 months of the experiments, there were exactly 7 UFO incidents, and we'll return back to the UFO mystery very soon. But after these 2 simultaneous events at 2 a.m. on Christmas Day, strangely enough, Kuznachev and Trofimov said that the bizarre sense of dread completely cleared from the testing area. So, on December 25th, they finally began the Kozyrev Mir experiment.
5-minute long here on Chewy. We have a big up arrow. As you can see, this is all real time.
Sitting inside the aluminum spiral chamber, the participant would focus their mind as the researchers spun the device 1.5 turns clockwise, and then the magic would begin. Within the Kozyrev Mir, an intense spectacle was witnessed by almost every single participant. As Dr. Trofimov described, quote, "Everyone who entered the mirrors of Kozyrev saw a huge stream of symbols, signs glowing like neon signs. All of us saw it, admired them. These were real visible signs." End quote. In their published findings, Dr. Kuznachev and Dr. Trofimov provided sketches of these symbols, which the research participants drew while inside the Kozyrev Mir. The experiments in Deakin went on for 6 months, and these drawings here are from May 1991. Every row is from a different volunteer at a different testing time, all isolated from communicating with one another. Yet, people were seeing these same things. Cool. This is not a subjective feeling of the people seeing these characters. One by one, research participants who had not talked amongst themselves entered the mirrors. Each of them drew the symbols, the same symbols. End quote. I'd like to give context to 2 of these symbols. The first here appears to be the Eye of Providence, or the all-seeing Eye of God, which is a very ancient symbol. It's mostly known for having been used by the early Christians who likely took it from the ancient Egyptians. And much later, the Eye of Providence became closely associated with the secret fraternal organization known as the Freemasons. The second one I wanted to mention is the circle with the 3 dots. This one is particularly interesting.
What was that? What was that?
Just before he said it, I had said that the Christians stole that all-seeing eye from the pagans and Wiccans and stuff because that's your center eye, your third eye. And then I said they had stole it from the Masons, and then like 2 seconds later he said that they stole it from them, and I'm like, oh damn.
That's cool, baby.
As is the symbol that the scholar and mystic Nicholas Rourke chose to use for his banner of peace. As we know, on the first day, a participant placed a copy of the banner of peace inside the Kozyrev Mir in hopes of stopping the sensation of dread. However, the banner seemed to make things worse. According to the participant, it caused some black cloud to form inside the mirror and spread out into the room almost like a physical substance. Just like the Eye of Providence, the symbol itself is a great mystery. Nicholas Rourke explained that he chose it because it was used to symbolize the Trinity in early Orthodox Christianity. However, when Rourke later explored remote parts of Asia, he saw the symbol also being used there. Thus, the symbol must be far more ancient than Christianity. It's best to get to the bottom of this now before we get on to the much crazier stuff to come. So let's temporarily time warp forward to 1997, a little less than 7 years after the events at Deakin. By 1997, Kuznetsov and Trofimov had achieved such interesting results that they captured the attention of the international academic community. And that year, they organized a joint experiment with British scientists, setting up a Kozyrev mirror and a monitoring station at Britain's famous prehistoric megalithic site, Stonehenge, located in Wiltshire, England. For whatever reason, working with the British must have flipped a switch in their brains, because it was at that point that Kuznetsov and Trofimov decided that the mystery of the symbols had gone on long enough, and experts needed to be brought in. In the years stretching between 1990 and 1997, they documented approximately 1,200 unique symbols, with a striking number of them reoccurring between different participants across different times and locations. The two researchers met with a team of linguists from the Siberian branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences and gave them their collection of sketches for analysis. Incredibly, the linguists were able to identify approximately 80% of the symbols, all extremely archaic, and many of which could be traced back to megalithic sites and rock art of various ancient civilizations. However, one culture in particular dominated the group. As Dr. Trofimov explained, quote, "At first, we thought the symbols were some kind of message to us.
He's got a good narrator's voice, I think.
In a way he does, and in a way he doesn't, because he's not adding any expression to it.
Yeah,
It's just
inflection
like
in what he's saying. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
monotone.
Yeah.
Always many temptations and interpretations. Then we realized that most of the symbols we saw correlated with the Sumerian culture, symbols that have come down to us on clay tablets in cuneiform writing. It was a moment of history that broke into our zone. That is, somehow we entered that horizon of the information storage on that shelf which refers to the Sumerian stage in the development of our civilization." End quote. Many of you might know that the Sumerian language is the oldest written language that we know of, dating back to as early as 3100 BC. But don't get the idea that the Sumerians are involved here, though, because a better question to ask is who the ancient Sumerians might have been in contact with.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they were freezing, you could almost hardly hear them. Well, with local recordings from StreamYard, you'll be able to download a...
What did you do?
Nothing.
Back in Deakin Village, 1991. The glowing...
I went to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, okay.
Symbols weren't the only reoccurring phenomenon experienced by those who entered the Kozyrev mirrors. In the first week, almost every test was interrupted at some point by subjects reporting serious dizziness, nausea, migraines, paranoia, or dread. Over the following days, a handful of volunteers grew a tolerance to these symptoms and endured the discomfort, staying in the mirror for longer periods of time. The reports from various participants read as follows. Quote, January 19th, 1991. Being inside Kozyrev's space, at first I felt nothing at all. In a few minutes, I saw a human shape. It was white all over. In 30 seconds, it was gone. January 19th. Being inside Kozyrev's space, I felt lifeless and laid down. As soon as I closed my eyes, I saw an object flying above. Then came the darkness and then the light again. I was in a room.
What? What?
Or mute the train.
What about it?
It's fucking choo-chooing. Never mind.
What am I supposed to do about it?
Mute yourself.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What the fuck?
I was told before you can't hear it that good now.
It's fucking absurdly loud.
Okay, I don't know. I only know what I was told.
Your computer is not loud, but the train is.
All right.
I hadn't seen before. A man was standing in the center of the room. His face wasn't seen. He began to speak slowly. Your planet is in danger. It is suffering. I couldn't say a word while he was speaking. He said, there may be a disaster. I asked him, when? No answer came. January 21st. Inside Kozarov space for 5 minutes, I saw myself at age 5 or something like that. His clothes were unusual, except the shoes, which I still remember since I was a kid. Just before that, I was shivering with cold. January 21st.
Fuck,
At
come
first,
on.
in Kozarov.
What? Jeez. What? Now you're gone.
Okay, can you back it up a couple minutes now? Stupid phone.
Right to there?
Maybe a little more. I don't recognize seeing that part. There we go. Yes, thank you.
That horizon of the information storage on that shelf, which refers to the Sumerian stage in the development of our civilization. End quote. Many of you might know that the Sumerian language is the oldest written language that we know of, dating back to as early as 3100 BC. But don't get the idea that the Sumerians are involved here, though, because a better question to ask is who the ancient Sumerians might have been in contact with.
Huh.
Back in Dixon Village, 1991, the glowing symbols weren't the only reoccurring phenomenon experienced by those who entered the Kozyrev mirrors. In the first week, almost every test was interrupted at some point by subjects reporting serious dizziness, nausea, migraines, paranoia, or dread. Over the following days, a handful of volunteers grew a tolerance to these symptoms and endured the discomfort, staying in the mirror for longer periods of time. The reports from various participants read as follows, quote, January 19th, 1991. Being inside Kozarov space, at first I felt nothing at all. In a few minutes, I saw a human shape. It was white all over. In 30 seconds, it was gone. January 19th. Being inside Kozarov space, I felt lifeless and laid down. As soon as I closed my eyes, I saw an object flying above. Then came the darkness, and then the light again. I was in a room I hadn't seen before. A man was standing in the center of the room. His face wasn't seen. He began to speak slowly. Your planet is in danger. It is suffering. I couldn't say a word while he was speaking. He said, there may be a disaster. I asked him, when? No answer came. January 21st. Inside Kozarov space for 5 minutes, I saw myself at age 5 or something like that. His clothes were unusual, except the shoes, which I still remember since I was a kid. Just before that, I was shivering with cold. January 21st. At first, in Kozarov space, it was like waves coming on my head, and my ears were tight. In some time, I could not feel my feet. After that, a tall man in a white suit turned slowly to me. Then I saw a series of images. There was a moment when I heard breathing down on the floor. My body trembled a bit, but realizing that I was alone in the room, I relaxed. January 23rd. I saw a flying saucer inside Kozarov space. It was going down slowly. It was black with white windows. Then it suddenly went up and went away. January 23rd. Being in Kozarov space, at first I was scared by something huge coming at me from both sides. Then I saw that there were two armies approaching each other. Then it went away and I saw an erupting volcano. I saw streams of lava coming down and a huge cloud of sulfur over it. The whole time I kept my eyes open. As I closed my eyes, I wanted to sleep. But all of a sudden, I felt somebody touching my hand. My body shivered with fear. January 23rd. Being in Kozaro's space, at first I felt a kind of discomfort, which then turned into fear. I felt I had something cold right on my neck. I had a feeling of somebody watching me, so I was afraid to open my eyes. Then I felt my left-hand fingers get pleasantly warm. It was like a dog licking them. End quote. The most frequent phenomena was documented by the researchers Kuznetsov and Trofimov, and we can see from the table here that 75% of tests resulted in observations of UFOs, and 68% felt the presence of a so-called observer, and usually they describe this entity as humanoid, faceless, and wearing white clothing, or simply a white silhouette of a man. It was obvious to everyone that whatever it wasn't human. Many test subjects said that not only did it feel like it was observing their every movement and thought, but that it had some enormous power over them, almost like complete mind control, though it didn't always exercise this power. Looking back at the table, we see that 40% and 30% respectively observed past episodes from their life, as well as detailed historical events long before they were born. This time warping seems to have occurred most frequently when the person was in the mirror for an extended period of time. As described by Dr. Trofimov, quote, when a person on his own initiative was in the mirror for several hours, he saw himself as a participant in the events that took place in the Roman Empire. He described the course of events in which he participated. End quote. The two researchers had no way of explaining.
I'm wondering if you're seeing your past lives.
Yeah, I was starting to think that it might be something like that, but you know, because witches, pagans, whatever, have used mirrors for scrying for thousands of years, you know, to communicate with the dead or just whatever, you know. There's lots of things you can do with a mirror, but they have done tests over and over again. They have proven that if somebody is in a room with just mirrors, that no matter how smart you are, how dumb you are, how, you know, how confident you are, or whatever, every last one of them went crazy in there. Yeah.
I never heard that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's something to look up. It's pretty interesting.
Exactly how this was happening, whether these scenes are being broadcast to the subject like a virtual reality headset, or whether the subject is literally transported across space and time, or whether they're simply hallucinating.
Yeah.
That said, those who saw familiar and unfamiliar places, people, and events couldn't shake the feeling that what they experienced was reality. Even if it didn't make sense in the present time, they felt that they traveled through time, that the Kozyrev mirror was nothing short of a true-to-life time machine. But the scary thing was, of course, that the device was much more than just a time machine. It seemed to put participants in direct contact with non-human entities. Now it's time for us to talk about the UFOs. As Dr. Trofimov mentioned, there were 7 unique incidents, some with multiple witness reports of serious UFO activity going on above Deekson. The first sightings began as soon as the Kozyrev mirrors were set up in the research facility, around December 20th, 1990. These are a few of the records released. Quote, December 20th, 1990, 4:30 p.m. A UFO was seen above Deekson Village. The object looked like a car light with the beam directed opposite of the movement. It was going to the northeast, high up at low speed. Then it changed to the east and was gone. December 21st, 5:10 p.m. A UFO was seen going slowly north.
Can
it
you
had
pause it
4
again,
lights
please?
shining ahead the way it was going. Later, the UFO changed.
Yeah.
I want to know what this is called again. Hold on. Let me. The thing that says live. So, what is it? Something.
Hang on. The name of the The name of the video or where the video's coming from?
Yeah. Time mirrors. Scroll back down, please. Experiments.
At the North Pole.
At the.
This guy's Mr.
And yeah, what
Mythius.
species?
Mr. Mythius.
M-Y, okay, M-Y-T-H-O-S, right? M-Y-T-H-O-S?
Yeah.
Yeah, even with my glasses, it's hard for me to read it. Okay, awesome.
Right.
Thank you. Now you can continue. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Well, I'm
Just
doing a
course
bunch of
westward,
stuff,
and then-
and this is extremely interesting to me, and I really would like to delve into it, like really watch it like hardcore. But right now I'm kind of walking around taking care of things, so I'm listening, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, keep going.
Southward, December 25th, 2 a.m. I saw a red glimmering circle above the building. It was there for a minute and then gone. December 26th, 6:10 p.m. During the experiments in Kozyrov space, a few people could see a shining object flying slowly northwards. Beams were going out of it, and its light was still seen for some time after the UFO had flown away. Later, the object changed its course and faded away. End quote. There are more UFO sightings for us to get into, but on December 27th, something different was observed by the locals of Dixon Village, totally unknown to the researchers at the time. It wasn't a UFO, but an atmospheric phenomenon. As we know, Dixon is one of the world's northernmost settlements. Because of its proximity
I think it's funny how the ads are louder than the video is.
to the North Pole, it's a place where one can see the famous Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. But this was definitely not a normal case of the colorful dancing waves in the sky. At 12:10 in the afternoon, and lasting over an hour, more than 100 Dixon villagers marveled at what they described as thousands of multicolored shining arrows descending from the atmosphere, appearing to very slowly gather around the research facility. During this time, Dr. Kuznachev and Dr. Trofimov were running an experiment with a Dixon resident, whose name they give as V. Kotalov. Because Kotalov was a professional painter, the researchers recruited him to paint the images and scenes he saw while inside the mirror. During this experiment, the researchers noticed that their recording instruments began to malfunction and fail. However, they didn't want to bother the artist, so they left him undisturbed for another hour, after which Kotalov came out and the issues abruptly stopped. Later that day, the researchers and participants realized that small steel objects in the facility had become magnetized. They called Dixon's geophysical monitoring station and were informed that there'd been a severe disturbance in Earth's magnetic field. Quote, a sharp decrease of the vertical component and an increase of the amplitude of the horizontal component of the magnetic field of the Earth from 160 to 990 NTL. End quote. I looked up NTL, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find what it means as a unit of measurement. However, usually the Earth's magnetic field is measured in nanoteslas, or NT, so I'm guessing that's what it means. And usually these are in the tens of thousands. So, first off, a jump from 160,000 to 990,000.
What was that?
He said NTs, which is nano something, but I think the L might be like liters.
Yeah.
Like NTL liters or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, some kind of measurement.
Nanoteslas in the magnetic field is an absolute anomaly. In fact, a normal reading of the North Pole's magnetic field is around 60,000, so the reading was pretty darn high to begin with. Second off, near the North Pole, the Earth's magnetic field is significantly stronger than it is near the equator, and That's actually why the aurora borealis happens there. A strength increase as serious as we're talking about would cause a significantly more intense display, and perhaps that's what the villagers witnessed. Still, none of this sounds very natural at all. During the incident, the artist V. Korolov sketched 3 pictures while inside the Kozyrev mirror. One appears to be 3 black mountains, or possibly pyramids, surrounded by a radiant light. The second appears to be some black ball descending to the earth. And the third shows 2 black objects resembling spacecrafts flying above the earth. So this brings us back to the UFOs. Moving into January of 1991, there were 3 more incidents, after which the UFO sightings stopped entirely. Cool.
That looked like a what? That looked like a what?
Sorry, a face, because the first image that he sketched, you know, he had just been talking about arrows coming down to earth. Well, those look like arrows going back up. And then I can't remember what the second image was, but the third image, if you look back at it, those black sketchy thingies look like eyes when you kind of pull it away from, when you look at it, kind of again.
Yeah.
It looks like a face.
Could be. You never know.
January 7th, 1991, 8:40 a.m. A bright yellow triangular object was seen. It was changing its shape from triangular to semi-oval. The quantity of radiated light was changing too. January 7th, 8:40 a.m. I saw half of a bright yellow ball, southeast in the sky. I noticed the ball changing its color. It turned brighter from time to time. Sometimes half of the ball got reduced to a quarter. At times it got covered with smoke. January 7th, 8:40 a.m. I saw a shining object which turned from triangular to semi-disc. The lower segment of it was lit up brightly. It probably radiated a light. January 17th, 5:10 a.m. I saw a UFO flying from the north, and it looked like a star then. Flying from the north,
Yeah.
Hey, you know, a lot of this stuff is happening around your birthday in January.
Yeah.
Nah.
Had to point that out, did you?
Yep. Yeah.
grew larger. Then it stopped and turned to the northwest, getting smaller while flying away. The object had the form of an ellipse, radiating red-white light. Somehow, the object turned into a figure of 8, radiating...
But then again, if you think about it, I've always said I'm from outer space.
Red, white, green lights in a moment. There were beams of light coming off of the object. While in the form of a ball, the object had one beam of light coming out. When it turned into the figure of 8, it had 3 of them. Those beams were moving around as if searching for something. The UFO remained in sight for about 4 minutes. Then the light went off and it was gone. January 26. I witnessed the UFO above Dixon Village. It was a ball shining like welding with a beam of light stretched back off of it. The beam of light had 2 sections. It was in the sky for about 1 minute. Then it vanished for a while and appeared again on the other side, having no beam of light then. The ball proceeded to move for another while, then stopped and a cloud went spiraling around it. I could see it for another 5 seconds, then it was gone. End quote. After these sightings, not a single UFO incident would be recorded in the 4 remaining months of the experiments. The strange phenomena inside the Kozyrev mirror, however, would not stop. The visions of past events, the sensation of being thrust into outer space, the appearance of the mysterious white observer, and the unshakable feeling that one's mind was being controlled. But as the experiment in Dixon wrapped up, a more problematic issue began to surface. The Kozyrev mirror seemed to have a lasting effect on research participants. One conclusion asserted by Dr. Kuznachev and Dr. Trofimov was that after a person accessed a state of nonlinear time inside the mirror, their consciousness would remain enhanced afterward in ways not quite understood. One subject reported that she now saw auras around living things, for example. Other common symptoms included instances of precognition, telepathy, and sensations of one's mind being controlled. According to a testimony given by one of the participants, quote, "Outside of Kozarev's mirrors, I discovered I had unusual abilities. I could answer questions without thinking. I could tell a guy the number of his examination card or the date of departure long before it occurred. I saw an accident the day before it happened. Starting in late May, I had problems. I was afraid to be on the balcony because of a strong urge to jump off. I often had frustrations. That lasted till July." End quote. Another participant, interviewed by the TV station Russia 1, described it as if the Kozyrev mirror had opened a new intuitive channel in her mind. She'd entered the mirror a total of 5 times, and after the experiments, she began to realize that she had strong precognition of things that would soon happen to her, and in those situations, it felt as if an external entity was guiding her every decision. The questions kept piling up, as did the responsibility weighing on the scientist's shoulders. Kuznachev and Trofimov began to grow seriously concerned about the intense physical, psychological, and psychic effects the mirror forced upon those who entered it. Dr. Kuznachev in particular began to feel haunted with the idea of continuing the experiments. He theorized 2 possibilities. The first was that the after effects might be a reaction to a human coming into contact with concentrated time energy and the information it carries. Our minds and bodies might not be able to process this. However, what Kuznachev was most paranoid of was that they were opening the door to a parallel world that might not be friendly. Specifically, he speculated whether the frequency...
Yeah. What?
Can you back it up a few minutes? Because I went from Wi-Fi to 4G. Not that far. Yeah. Thank you.
The appearance of the mysterious white observer, and the unshakable feeling that one's mind was being controlled. But as the experiment in Dixon wrapped up, a more problematic issue began to surface. The Kozyrev mirror seemed to have a lasting effect on research participants. One conclusion asserted by Dr. Kuznachev and Dr. Trofimov was that after a person accessed a state of nonlinear time inside the mirror, their consciousness would remain enhanced afterward in ways not quite understood. One subject reported that she now saw auras around living things, for example. Other common symptoms included instances of precognition, telepathy, and sensations of one's mind being controlled. According to a testimony given by one of the participants, quote, "Outside of Kozarev's mirrors, I discovered I had unusual abilities. I could answer questions without thinking. I could tell a guy the number of his examination card or the date of departure long before it occurred. I saw an accident the day before it happened. Starting in late May, I had problems. I was afraid to be on the balcony because of a strong urge to jump off. I often had frustrations. That lasted till July." End quote. Another participant, interviewed by the TV station Russia 1, described it as if the Kozyrev mirror had opened a new intuitive channel in her mind. She'd entered the mirror a total of 5 times, and after the experiments, she began to realize that she had strong precognition of things that would soon happen to her, and in those situations, it felt as if an external entity was guiding her every decision. The questions kept piling up, as did the responsibility weighing on the scientist's shoulders. Kuznachev and Trofimov began to grow seriously concerned about the intense physical, psychological, and psychic effects the mirror forced upon those who entered it. Dr. Kuznachev in particular began to feel haunted with the idea of continuing the experiments. He theorized 2 possibilities. The first was that the after effects...
What?
Surely they signed an agreement, contract or something, that they're not responsible for anything You know.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Might be a reaction to a human coming into contact with concentrated time energy and the information it carries. Our minds and bodies might not be able to process this. However, what Kuznachev was most paranoid of was that they were opening the door to a parallel world that might not be friendly. Specifically, he speculated whether the frequent sightings of the White Observer, in combination with the UFO sightings inside and outside the mirrors, might indicate the presence of intelligent entities. And in regard to that first day of inexplicable fear and the feelings of intense sickness, tiredness, and temporarily losing control of one's own mind, it seemed likely that these entities can affect humans. Either way, Kuznachev and Trofimov came to a sobering reality that they were far from understanding the kind of power they were dealing with. With ever increasing caution, they decided to continue running the experiments with the Kozyrev mirror, and did so as a team for many years. However, all recent publications are linked to Dr. Trofimov. To this day, Alexander Trofimov continues to perform research into the Kozyrev mirrors and speak about it in publications and academic conferences. The most recent I found was in 2018 at the Second International Conference on Natural Hazards and Disaster Management in Melbourne, Australia, where Trofimov spoke about using Kozyrev mirrors to predict natural disasters. As for Dr. Kuznachev, it appears that after the year 2000, he gradually took a back seat, perhaps due to his nightmarish anxieties. In a public statement given by Kuznachev, he reiterated his feelings. Quote, "We have not yet discovered the mystery of these mirrors. Working with them carries many threats. They are connected not only with immersion in the unknown, a huge danger lies in the remote influence on the minds of unsuspecting people." End quote. In the last 2 decades, Vladimir Kuznachev has spent much of his time in the realm of international law. In particular, he continues to push major appeals to the United Nations to ban psychotronic weapons, or weapons powered by psychic energies, which might very well include time energy. Of course, his main fear is of weapons being developed that repurpose Kozyrev mirror technology. In an interview with Russia One, Dr. Kuznachev warned the world, quote, "This is very serious. If science does not deal with Kozyrev and the development of space instruments, not only mirrors, this is a huge threat if we go in that direction. The universe is surrounded by mystery, the great unattainable, and the secret of cosmic consciousness may be the most disturbing." End quote. What do you think actually happens in the Kozyrev mirror? And would you be brave enough to go into one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this investigation and haven't seen my video on Nikola Tesla, I dive deep into the strangest esoteric mysteries and conspiracies surrounding the genius inventor, so definitely go check it out. Or, if you want one of the most mind-blowing and convincing cases of the existence of psychic phenomena, I highly recommend you watch my 2-part series on the CIA's top-secret Stargate project. Thank you to my patrons. I really appreciate your support because it allows me to do what I love to do. And thinking about you guys keeps me grounded, especially in these rabbit holes involving time and space, those you can really get lost in. If you'd like to join in, I've got links in the description to pledge monthly or make a one-time donation, and 100% goes back into these videos. Lastly, don't forget to show some love to Wonder. I use the app all the time, it's a ton of fun, and I definitely recommend it. I'm Mr. Mythos. Never stop seeking. I'll see you in the next.
So what'd you think of that?
I think that it was extremely interesting. Excuse me. And that it's incredible. I would be more inclined to believe that that was real. And did you give kudos to this channel, to that channel or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, do it again just so you don't get...
Well, we let him do his little plug at the end and stuff too, so.
Okay. So.
Anyway.
You know what was funny?
What's that?
I found out from one. I think she's my second cousin. She lives in Klamath Falls, and she was listing that she got grounded from Facebook, and I started laughing because she is a seriously Christian woman and whatever. And I thought, I'm hearing about all these people that are getting in trouble or grounded or whatever from Facebook. And I'm like, damn, with the shit I post and say on there, I'm like, I'm shocked I've never been in the doghouse with them. It's funny.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
You just never know
where
what they're
did
going.
you hear about this?
Joe sent it to me.
Oh, okay, that's right. How did he find it?
Who knows? Knowing him, who knows?
All right. Interesting, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I would love to see more videos and stuff that he might have,
Yeah. Well, you gotta subscribe to him.
Yeah. Joe?
To
Or
that guy
guy?
who just watched. Yeah.
Whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hold on a sec. I got to mute. Hold on, honey. I'll be right back.
Not a problem.
All right, I'm back.
You're back, huh?
I'm back.
This is part of the stream this morning.
Okay.
Shitload of screens there. Good lord. You're in security and stuff.
Look at that shit.
Blimey, look at the screens. Good lord. Oh, wow.
There's a lot of noise on that. What?
Wow, man.
That is cool. Look at that shit.
Isn't it? That's a lot of tech. That's a shitload of tech. Yeah, that's a security center.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
I did work in security.
All the screens
so
at
I'm
Joe's
well aware.
work. You can't see them all?
Oh,
He
yeah.
watches all the stuff for like the boilers and stuff like.
What?
No, I'm not looking right now. I'm driving because I wanted a chocolate dipped ice cream cone, so I went and got one.
Oh.
I was craving chocolate and ice cream because the chocolate melts and the ice cream I can swallow because my thyroid whatever is super swollen.
Yeah.
So
Well, it goes for quite a while.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen pictures. He showed us pictures.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
different.
awesome.
Definitely. He showed this one valve, like a big steam valve.
Yeah.
And it must have been like 5 feet in diameter. He put his hand up next to it, and it was tiny. I mean, literally tiny. It was huge. It was fucking huge.
Wow. That's cool though.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, it's building security, so you have to make sure that everything's running smoothly. Nice fridges, by the way. Hope you got good nom-noms in there.
There's a house right next to the school. Oh my God, it's a huge.
It was kind of cool. He has this like big huge vending machine, and you go to it and you push a button and like you can get gloves and earplugs and all kinds of stuff out of this big huge vending machine. It was kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Oh God, this ice cream is so good. Thing. Oh my God. Oh wow.
He works at a mill.
Okay. Wow, Joe. Fascinating. It sounds like a big beast, the noises coming from all the machinations.
Machinations. But
Wow. Oh my goodness. Ooh la la. Joe, may I ask, whereabouts are you, roughly? You don't have to give direct pointers, if you know what I mean.
I'm just a few miles from the old man.
Okay.
International paper.
He's here in Oregon with me.
Right.
Are you going up to now where you take all your pictures from?
I can. Give me a moment.
I thought that's where you were heading.
No, I'm on the second floor. I was just showing you the control room. I'll head up top though.
Locker room. Does Joe have his own channel?
yeah, but he doesn't really do
Yeah, there's
anything on
showers
it
in there,
anymore.
too. We got a full kitchen.
Cool. Excellent. That's good. You should have all those facilities. Those are big lockers too.
Oh, this plant is fucking huge.
Oh, nice. Nice shower. Nice. Wow.
All right, I'm gonna put you guys in my pocket and I'll head up top.
All right, man.
We're in your pocket.
This is cool. It's the first time I've actually seen live video of this place. He showed me pictures of like all those screens and stuff before.
Right. Fascinating.
That's a shitload of monitors.
Oh my
So
God, that's all the keys. Did you
Look at
see
that
all the keys hanging on the wall?
Yeah.
I miss so much shit when I don't get on here with you in the morning, I swear.
Now watch, look at all these keys. Look at that shit. There's like hundreds of them.
Which one do I want?
Look at that.
I want the one to the Corvette.
Yeah, Mercedes.
Nah, that's my mom.
No, you sell it. You sell it.
Yep, glove.
All your safety gear.
Yep.
Your PPE. Joe, so folks don't really appreciate what security has to go through, the mundane little bits and bobs that we have to deal with. I've got a lot of appreciation and respect for anyone that does this.
Brian was there when I came in, so it doesn't matter. That's his sleeping corner.
Just sleeping corner.
Yeah, you're good.
A sleeping corner. Good Lord. So you'll be curled up like a little pussycat.
Yeah, I'll lower it today. They were complaining
Joe,
yesterday.
there's so many screens. That's bizarre, man. So there's all this stuff that you're monitoring. I mean, like sort of heating vents and whatever. And then you're also watching like folk walking about, hallways and
Walking about.
That's a lot of stuff that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, he's got to maintain the pressure of the boiler and the different chemicals and stuff in different tanks and all kinds
Right.
of shit.
Right. I get that.
Still had water there.
So you're under the building, Joe?
No, he's inside right now.
No, he's under the building. He's on the lower levels.
The basement.
This is
We're on
under the
second
building.
floor.
Oh, you're on the second floor. So what's
Yeah.
below you then?
Under the boiler.
Say again, sorry?
Under the
Under
boiler.
us is the basement, which is under the boiler, which is ground level.
Right.
The building's like 200 feet tall.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, 200 feet tall.
Oh my god.
That's like 20
Yeah, I
stories.
don't like those kind of lifts.
That's
man.
a
They
tiny
freak me
one, huh?
right out. Oh, you're brave. Yeah.
I would rather go
that's
in
so
one of
high-tech,
those
innit?
than in
Now
the
wait,
first one.
look, he shows a daddy long leg. He shows a daddy long leg.
Nice. Cobwebs are always good. Means you got
Daddy
spiders.
long leg. There's a
See his
daddy
finger?
long leg.
They're not spiders, by the way. That don't hurt.
Yeah,
us,
really.
But what they do is they eat their own, and they eat
Nah,
all our
we
big.
repurpose the spiders. I don't kill them. Killing's the easy
No,
option.
never kill a spider. Never kill a spider. That's good, man.
We don't kill any insects.
Good.
Except bees.
Pointless.
You're too
Like I tell my son,
You're
man,
too
if
busy-
something comes
You're
here and
too
it's,
busy looking at all the boilers and the screens and stuff, aren't you?
what's that?
I said you're too busy looking at all the boilers and the screens and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Bless you. I don't envy you, by the way.
He's got
I don't think I could
facial hair.
do the security job anymore, and I did do it for a while.
What was that, babe?
He's got facial hair,
Yeah. Look at
like
this.
a goatee or whatever.
Wait till you see this view.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, we're not security. We run the mill. We run the boilers.
Well, no, you're part of building management, actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay.
Oh, you're on top now.
Now look, wait,
Look at
watch,
that.
babe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
All
I mean,
those,
it's
I
really-
love
You
it.
could probably
Sorry.
you could probably see
all those
that
pictures
my
that I
house
showed
from
you
there.
that he took are
I didn't know that, honey, that there was
Wow.
buildings that tall at his work.
They supply the power for half our city.
Wow. Right. I was gonna say it looks like a big machine to me.
Old creepy shack.
Yeah.
Yep. What is that mysterious blue light?
Bless you, Joe, for sharing your work experience. As
Absolutely.
it's cool. So if anyone
Is that
ever
a
just
helo
says,
pad?
"Oh, you're only a this and you're only a that," you can just give them the middle finger, man.
What was that, babe?
Is that like, do they have a helo pad?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
He said this mill's been there since like the 20s, so it's like 100 years old.
See, I don't understand. He's calling it a mill, but yet they produce and give power to, you know.
Yeah, they
Half-
sell the power, their excess power to Springfield.
But it's a mill, so what do they produce there?
They produce their own power to power their machines, and they produce so much power that they can afford to sell power back to the power company.
But they make like wood shit.
They're a mill. They do whatever mills do.
Oh,
Plane boards, chop boards, make sawdust.
huh. Okay.
Oh no, we just got another fat raise. Oh, Dad, I didn't tell you. I applied at the University of Oregon and I got the job, but I turned it down.
Right.
I did. When was that?
Just a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Let's he applied, but he turned it down.
Rollers for the university.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got hired, but he turned it down because they said he'd be making like $50,000 less than he is now.
Oh well, yeah, I'd turn it down too.
Yeah, he's like, he could eventually make up to what he's done, but it'd take years. He said he's been at that job for over 17 years. He was saying him and Christine have been together something like 28 years.
Wow.
Well, they
Yeah, I
met.
know for a long time.
They met when I think he was like 12, and he's 38 now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be about a $50,000 a year pay cut, though, and I wasn't willing to take that big of a hit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a big hit. You'd think the damn university would be able to pay you better than that.
Well, over time, I would have gotten up there, but, I'm not really looking to restart.
Right. That's cool.
No
Joe.
way.
Yes.
That's so
Joe.
cool.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said
Are you gonna do more music, please?
I have been doing a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
I'm
all
not
really
getting
old stuff.
notified, though.
My
I'm not
music is
getting
taking a much
notified, mate.
different direction.
Okay, I don't mind. I'm open to all music, but I'm not getting notified by anything.
Oh, no, nothing posted.
Oh, okay,
Nothing-
fair
nothing-
enough.
I haven't posted on YouTube in ever. Just at
Okay,
home. I've
are
just
you,
been writing a
are you
lot.
gonna go on to Odyssey, Joe?
Sure, absolutely. When I have time to actually record, absolutely.
Because you can transfer your uploads from YouTube to Odyssey.
Odyssey, what's that?
another
Oh,
streaming
yeah.
site.
It's a good one because it's not censored.
What
So
streaming
you
site?
can say what you want, basically.
isn't that
Which
beautiful,
one?
baby?
As you
Yeah.
should, anyway.
Is it
What
free or
site?
What?
What site is he talking about?
She's telling him about Odyssey.
Well, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but isn't that beautiful up there? I bet you could see my house from up there.
Huh, probably. Well, that's awesome.
Air binoculars, but yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's my house right there.
Ah,
Wave, baby, wave.
yeah.
Manel?
It is free. Yeah, it's free. You can just go click on Odyssey, ODYSEE, and then just create yourself an account and go from there and just go read through the jargon. It's fairly straightforward, but there isn't, and it's even BitChute's totally attacked and possibly quite compromised. But Odyssey, for me, has been one. It can be a little glitchy, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I watch a lot of stuff on Odyssey. So just give
Wonder
it,
how
just go
much
and set
it
yourself an
costs.
account up, and you can even directly upload to there, and you can do live.
What?
I wonder how much Odyssey costs.
It's free.
Huh. Okay.
Lives and stuff.
Okay.
It's a bit glitchy if you're using a tablet or a phone. So try and use a computer when you go on Odyssey. Otherwise, you're gonna have issues watching live streams where you can't interact with the conversation going on. But if you want to put stuff up, Odyssey's a really good place. It's very simple. It's not, it's not. It is
How'd
strangely.
you like to turn that valve?
No, wait, watch this,
Oh,
baby.
wow.
Watch.
Oh my goodness!
Look at that. Look how small it is.
Oh my god, that's huge!
Nice.
Oh la la.
You see how
How
small
many
his
of
hand
you does
was?
it take to turn that?
Look at it with his head.
This is easy too, people. That's a
Damn.
big knocker valve.
Yeah, it's a big valve.
I gotta go
Yeah.
back and show that.
His
Not,
head.
you know, it's not. It is
How'd you like to
strangely.
turn that valve?
Oh wait, watch.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
Look
Yeah.
at that. Look at that shit.
And then look at his head to it when he puts his head by it.
Yeah. It's like, that looks like something you see in a movie on a submarine or something, the old tugboat or something.
Right.
Oh my god, that's huge. Oh la la. How many of you does it
Look at
take to
that.
turn
How
that?
small his head is.
Oh, this is easy too, people. This is a big
His head's even tiny.
Mm-hmm.
knocker
Yep.
valve.
Wow, I thought that was smaller when you put your hand up. I went, oh my god.
Oh no, it's huge.
It is.
Damn.
Isn't it?
Damn.
That's a lot of metal.
And then
isn't
look
it?
at those pipes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your phone's kind of hollow today, Joe.
No, no, it's not.
Well, it's probably the sound of the mill. It's really loud up here.
That valve wasn't as big as the other one.
I can't
All I
believe
can
his
say
phone was
is that we
working
need
down
guys
there with
like
all
you
that
over
metal.
here dealing with our power.
What was that, babe?
I'm surprised his phone is working, being inside all that metal.
Yeah, we figure he's, he's probably, I think he went down back to the second floor, and if the building's 200 feet tall,
Yeah.
he's
Well,
still a
he's
little ways
got
up
like
there.
he's
Yeah.
got one of those expensive good phones too.
Oh yeah.
Structures.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Yeah,
know
we
what.
got a lot of good operators here.
Yeah.
There's another
Definitely.
one.
These are the gates to what are known as the precipitators. So the exiting flue gases come out of the boiler. They come through here, and then they go through a section of the boiler where there's these rods that are hanging down, and they're all electrically charged with a corona that's an opposite charge of the particulates. And then so
Wow.
these little wrappers down there, a bar
Whoa.
drops on each one of those little things, and then
Oh,
it knocks the boiler gases off of the plate, and then that below that is collected on a conveyor, which is the boiler ash.
I don't even know what I want to ask first because there's
Somewhere in here he was saying, because when he got hired, there were like really bunch of people retired right after he got hired. And he said he had to learn a job that takes usually 10 years in like 4 or 5 years.
What do you wait? Say that last word again.
The job that he's doing, usually it takes 10 years to train the person to do the job. He had 5 years to do it.
Well, I'm gonna leave
so
Zeus
much
the last
going
little
on
bit.
there.
What?
I'm gonna leave Zeus the very bottom of my comb. I
No.
couldn't help it.
Yeah.
I was craving chocolate and I was craving ice cream. So tomorrow morning I gotta get up early and fucking clean my car. And then his mom said, yeah, your dad's excited and can't wait till he sees your new car. And I'm like, well, Mom, it's not new anymore. Goes, well, we were, I said, well, I ain't washing my damn car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell me what that tower is to your left?
This tower?
Yeah. What does that
So
do?
that's the stack for the main number 4 recovery.
Yeah.
That's where our actual gases come out of. But we have to meet certain city requirements, capacity limits, right?
Right.
EPA.
It can only be
So
so
it's
dirty. In Oregon here, especially
Is that
Springfield,
an
our
out-
limits.
is that an outfeeder then? It's an outfeeder.
Yeah, it's a
And it-
stack. It's a big muffler, basically.
Yeah.
I'll go show you
Wow.
guys the turbine.
This place is huge.
We create steam, right? And then we take that steam, we send it through an electrical condensing turbine. We take our 900-pound steam, we condense it down to 165 and 65-pound steam. And that's how we create the energy.
It's hard to hear him.
So are you?
Yeah.
Is your
the man lift
is
you
your
could ride
power
all the way up and down.
Joe, is your power base given energy from the coal industry?
No, we do natural gas and black liquor.
Oh, right.
Black liquor.
Natural gas.
Yeah, black liquor is our main fuel source.
And you get that from like sawdust or something, right?
Yeah, we get it from wood chips.
Yeah.
Natural gas from wood chip?
No.
No, they use natural gas and wood chips and make black liquor.
Okay.
And use that as
So I know, right, so on the wood chip front, I know a farm down in Northamptonshire that has gone to all their heating and power comes from this. Oh God, I don't know if I can actually verbalize it, but they're basically burning solid fuel. So because they grow grass for like racing horses, and they're like an agri farm, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
An agri farm. Yeah. So they're growing all sorts of different crop, and a lot of it, bless you, Joe, goes into the biofuel industry. I think you know where I'm coming from, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So they literally, I mean, they've got like cottages on the land and their own house. They also have solar, which actually works because it's high up on their buildings. But when they're going to put power through to the other cottages, they have this like huge incinerator building. Does that make any sense, Joe? Am I coming from? Yeah.
Yeah.
That we're talking about the same thing here, aren't we?
Sure. In our boiler, for example, we don't like. Yeah. So we have 3 boilers. This big one I'm showing you, we're not firing gas right now. We're just firing black liquor. It is our main fuel source. And see, so here's under the boiler right here.
Oh, that's a freaking. I mean, look, what I've seen was pretty big, running through a whole farm, but this is humongous.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's huge. Wow.
So when the black liquor is burned in the boiler, it comes down. I can't show you the smelt spout unless I felt like it and I'll shoot it up, and I don't. But the smelt drops into this tank and it turns into what's known as green liquor. It's shattered by steam and water. It goes into this tank as green liquor. It's mixed with a solution known as leak wash, which is basically water. And then we send that back to the cane here. And it's all just like the name recovery. All this stuff is recovered. So we continuously recycle and reuse. It's sent to another plant. It goes back. It's turned into white liquor. The white liquor is baked in with the chips. And then those chips get sent back to us. And as the black liquor, and then that black liquor gets fired into the boiler again and then produces the green liquor. And that's just a big loop.
Wow, that is fucking cool.
Wow.
Thank
so
you
it's
so
like it's a big churning machine, isn't it?
So the black gets turned into green and the green gets turned into white or something like that. Kind of cool though. How they could just keep recycling the fuel to each other like that.
Right, basically.
Recycling itself. Recycling its own end.
So it's power and recovery, right? The power end is the steam and the electricity, and the recovery is the recovery of our actual fuel source.
So how many square miles of properties are you giving power to? If you know...
I mean, I would think we probably power, I don't know, close to half of Springfield. I'm not sure.
Okay. 60,000 people.
Wow.
So here's the turbine basement.
Right. Oh.
I'll go upstairs
Wow.
and show you the turbine.
Joe, are you all right showing all this stuff? By the way.
Yeah, I mean, technically, we're not supposed to have cameras.
Okay.
I didn't
That's why
see. I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I didn't
It's
see
not a big
thing.
deal.
I didn't see a thing.
Look at that shit.
This is the
Bless
turbine.
you, Joe.
That's the furnace.
Bless you, Joe.
No,
but
turbine.
this is really see when folks see this stuff, they get an idea of what is entailed in giving everyone power to their homes. You know?
Yeah. Look at that shit. General Electric. They're no more. General Electric, I think.
Larry, you talking about the GEC?
General Electric, GE. I think they're no more.
Well, they just changed their name.
Well, yeah, they got bought out.
The GEC, the General Electric Company. I remember them well over here in Britain. They're everywhere. And they would have just changed their name to something else.
I'll go do my air compressor around.
Huge. That is a huge plant. Isn't it? Good
Oh
lord.
yeah, it's massive. It
Mhm.
takes me longer to get through the mill than it does for me to get home.
Yeah, but what is it? 5 square miles?
Can you believe that? Takes them longer to get through the mill than it does to get home.
I didn't realize that plant was that big. Holy
It's
shit.
huge.
Miles or something? 10 square miles? How big do you think?
I honestly don't know. I don't know how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I live a couple miles away from the mill. I'm close, but it takes me longer to ride home than it does to ride through the mill.
No, it takes you less time to ride home than it does going through the mill. you
Yeah,
mean?
sorry if I said that backwards.
Yeah, no, I got that. It's fine. Good lord.
So do you still ride your bike up there?
If the weather's nice, absolutely. I just rode yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, do you ride a cycle or a motorbike?
He has an
An
electric bicycle.
Electric bike.
Yeah. Does like
Oh.
50 miles an hour.
But I was a courier on the motorbikes and in the vans, and it's like riding a horse when you're on a motorbike, man. And I'm sure you know, Joe.
Yeah, like I said, his electric bike does like 50 miles an hour.
Oh, that's too slow on a bike. You've got to have between 50 and 100 mile an hour capacity on a motorbike. Right.
Yeah, it's electric.
She must not
can do
know
0
that
to
my
50.
wheelchair only does 2.
I know. I get that.
I'm
What was that, baby?
We must not have told her that my wheelchair only does 2.
Yeah.
looking at new batteries that can go 90 miles an hour.
Oh, really? Wow.
With the same motor?
Yes.
Wow.
Same controller and everything.
Have you
Yeah,
seen?
yeah.
Have you seen those new KO motors?
I mean, I generally am looking at bikes, not really motors, so I'm not sure.
Well, these new KO motors, that's what everybody, the Surons, everybody's changed it to is the KO motors and the KO controllers. Because they put out a lot more power.
I'm new to that.
They're supposedly a lot more efficient. One thing I found out is on the Suron motors, the armatures are glued together.
Oh.
And these KO motors are actually riveted and glued together both.
So it means you can't service any of the parts.
Well, the problem with the glue is once it gets hot, it delaminates.
Oh, that's not good.
It's Saturday, so there's not, as far as management's concerned, there's really nobody here.
Right.
Oh, that's why you can walk around, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one.
Normally this place is a lot more alive.
Oh, okay, I'll get that.
How many people do you think are there during the day on a Monday through Friday?
Oh, not nearly as much as it used to be. Fuck, maybe. I think we have like 250 employees, maybe.
Yeah.
But
250.
that's not including contractors. There's probably 100 contractors on site at any one moment.
But that's actually not a lot of folk to
No,
service.
there used to be
like that.
probably 4 times that here at this mill.
Ah.
Back when it was Weyerhaeuser.
Right.
Yeah, the atmosphere here used to be a lot different.
I bet.
So they've got bought out since you've been there?
Yeah, when I started here as a hostler, just pulling trailers, it was Weyerhaeuser.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Shit, I started out pulling trailers here, and now I fire the boiler.
So you've seen it build up from like almost nothing. Right.
I've been on site here for close to 17 years.
Right. So I was going to say, how old were you when you first came along? So you've obviously, you've got a passion for this thing.
Yeah, it's quite a while though, 17 years.
I got a passion for supporting my family.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good passion.
I mean, if I was single, I probably wouldn't be doing this shit. I'd be pursuing like personal passions that I would have room to fail in. I don't have much room for that failure.
But Joe,
mouths depend on me.
Joe, you should still pursue your passion.
Sure.
Even with your family. Yeah, no disrespect whatsoever. I'm just saying. Your heart's passion will fuel your family. It will strengthen your family. So yeah, I get where you're going here, but if you've got something, and I know you make music, so don't let that beauty that comes from you, your heart, go by the wayside.
Sure. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about, personal businesses, and then also possibly something like my dad's doing here, a podcast of nature.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine that's trying to talk me into start my own battery building business.
You should.
Oh, Larry, you're pretty clever when it comes, like your son. You're both pretty clever when it comes to this stuff. I think it's important to do it where you can, when you can. Realistically, obviously. What are you looking at? That's some big charts, mate.
This is our Premier Elliott compressor. I'm taking readings on it.
Right. So, even with all the new technology, paperwork doesn't go away, does it?
Oh no, this has to be filed. And a lot of it has to do with auditing purposes.
Right.
We just had an audit, actually.
Right. You just had one?
Yep.
I bet that was fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we actually did pretty well. We have a few audit items we need to touch on, but...
Yeah.
So over there,
but look,
over there is a whole other world.
I'm not
That's
really...
the paper machine over there. That's where
sorry.
This is a paper mill.
Oh my God.
So these big old things hold the stock
What was
for the
that
paper
big...
machine.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
Dear
but
Lord.
I mean, I might be able to sneak over here. Kind of going.
Oh shit!
Oh, I think he dropped out.
Yeah, we lost him. That was so
Oh,
cool.
he'll
Though.
be back when he's got to do his stuff.
I think
But
he just
fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
I think he just lost the signal. Yeah, there he
Sorry?
is. I said I just
Yeah.
think he lost the signal.
Hey, Joe, thanks so much. Yeah, it's fascinating, man.
Just the size of everything is just amazing.
It's like a city in itself.
Yeah.
Wow. But no one actually lives there.
Well, people live here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, fuck, I
So
damn near live here.
They live there
Oh, really? There's someone on
16 hours a day. They live there.
Shit. Excuse my French.
Alifu hama hama.
Excusez-moi. I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever worked there at night when the lights are not as bright, or are the lights always bright?
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I work nights every other week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he works 1 week days, 1 week night.
Oh, so it's rotational. Yeah, I'll get that. So
I don't want to go into that building too much. That's the paper machine, and then I can start.
Do you experience creepy moments there, just out of interest?
I mean, in the old powerhouse, maybe, but not really.
You're quite pragmatic, aren't you? So you don't, you tend to not take this.
I almost explore it.
You explore it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good. Oh, that's
I
good.
think probably the creepiest moments he's had has been when he's been up on that roof filming shit that's up in the sky.
I mean, in the end, I guess ultimately I would only be being afraid of myself.
Yeah. But there is that, for sure. Thank you so much for showing us your labor.
This is badass.
No,
we used to have big ass goldfish in here. People stocked goldfish in here, and they're not in here anymore.
Really?
But I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
They were the millfish.
Millfish, that's funny.
Wow.
I'm gonna show you the storeroom.
Well,
is that just regular water they keep there for use?
I mean, no, that's an old thing. I don't even think that's in use anymore.
Wow, them lights are really hideous, aren't they? Good Lord. Oh, there's put your money in the box if you want anything to come out. Oh, canteen.
Lunchroom.
all right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. That was a little tour of my son's work. I'm going to get out of here. It's past my bedtime. You all have a great night, a better tomorrow. And we'll be here same time as we always are in the morning, 5 a.m., same time, same bat channel. Hope to see you there. Take care. Bye.